Okay, it seemed that I got it correct this time. I almost thought I didn't. But I'm Will, and this is the Geezer Guide to Better Living. I This is the book club. Every month, I'm going to try to give a book. So at the end of the month, maybe the first week in the month, we're going to talk about the book. This book for January is Mary Monroe's God Doesn't Like Ugly. Don't like ugly. All right. I'm gonna give you next month because this is the 10th, and I'm giving it to you late, so I only give you 28 days to read it. But like I say, the first of the month, the first week, so you may have 30 days to read it or more. And the book I picked is Black Boy Joy. It's by Kwame Mbaglia. I almost said his name wrong. Uh, it's 17 short stories. So even if you don't finish the book, you can read some of the stories and you can just talk about what you enjoy mostly about the book. All right. So I'm gonna give people a few minutes to start. And as again, I would like to say I apologize for not do knowing what to do to get this online. Hey, Dominique, I'm gonna give people a few minutes before I start. I was just apologizing for not uh, doing my due diligence and finding out exactly what I needed to do to go live. I thought all I had to do was push a button and I'll go live, but it's more to it than that. So I apologize for that, and I also said that we're going to be discussing Mary Monroe's book, God Don't Like Ugly, and I'm giving February's book for this upcoming month of February. So you got to the first week in February to read it. It's Kwame Embellia's book, Black Boy Joy. All right. So, okay. Thanks for letting me know that it was good. Um, I know this is not the optimal time to do this, but I felt that I needed to do it and get it out of the way because people had been wanting to see this, and I really wanted to do it at a time that everybody was. This is on a weekend. I'd rather do it on the weekend so people can sit back and have you a sip and talk about the book. But since it's the weekday, I'm sure it's not going to be a lot of people having a sip or even come on to this live. But I wanted to do it so I could say that it's been done. Okay, so let's talk about the book. Annette, her mother, and her father. Um, let's start off with the patriarchy of the family. Her father. I don't want to tell the book because you're not supposed to really tell the book, but he did his family wrong. I can understand wanting a better life, and people have done a lot of weird things in the past, uh, as far as trying to escape poverty. But uh, I'm glad that in the end of the book it came back on him. So I'm gonna leave that at that, and I'm not gonna talk much about her father because her father really wasn't a big part of the book, but he was the reason why she behaved the way that she did. Because when he left the family, her mother had to take over and find ways for them to survive, and she eventually did. So but it can a father leaving a child can leave scars, and I think that's what uh, Annette was going through most of her younger life before she became a teenager. All right, so Annette, they described her as being big boned and a healthy girl, and she had a healthy appetite, and she had a little bit of self esteem problem, but for the most part, she still was not like Miss Seeley. She was not downtrodden. She just was to herself. She was introspective. She did not. She didn't have a bubbly personality, and she wasn't outgoing because she felt that people didn't like her. So, and people, they tease everybody. Everyone has been teased before. So that's that. So let's talk about the next character that showed up in this saga. Um, will be Scary Mary. Scary Mary was a very colorful character. Her and her red, colorful wigs. Uh, there's a lot of women that are that back in the late '60s, early '70s that were like Scary Mary. There were whorehouses in neighborhoods back then, and Scary Mary was a character that uh, really bucked the system as far as she was not a woman who needed a man to help her. She was a rough and tough and type of woman that she would go to jail in a minute if somebody got out of line with her. And she kept her girls safe. When I say girls, I mean she was a madam, and she was friendly. She was not a person that had a rough life because she got what she wanted. And as far as women living in those days, she was doing pretty good. Okay, the next character I'm going to talk about is Pee Wee and his father. Pee Wee was a very colorful character, and the way he started is not the way I thought he would end. He in uh, he grew out of his feminism, and he became a man, and he uh, was very handsome, and a lot of women liked him, and he was not as catty and chatty as he was as a child. His father really did not have a big part. His father was just a provider and a gossip, like all of them were. Scary Mary, his father, and the next character that I'm going to, Mr. Boatwright. Mr. Boatwright was a terrible, terrible, miserable person, and I did not like Mr. Boatwright. And when what happened to him, I was like, good. A lot of people were mad at me because I said that I discussed the book with some other people who have read it, and they told me they thought that I was wrong for saying that he got what he deserved. But Mr. Boatwright was a miserable person, and he was a gossip, and he was another one of these people that hide behind the church to do their dirt. And he did not even really understand the dirt and the harm he was doing to Annette when he was doing what he was doing. He thought that she actually liked him, which was crazy. But some people are like that. And they will use the Bible to justify almost anything. And he was a very hateful person, a very drunk, hateful person. Okay. Okay. Another person that comes into the picture is Rhoda. Rhoda was my favorite character, and a lot of people got mad at me because I said Rhoda was my favorite person. Yes, Mr. Boatwright was very horrible. Uh, Rhoda was another person. She was not a shrinking violet whatsoever. She was pretty, and she knew it, and she used it to her advantage. And that was a good thing because sometimes you get tired of having poor, downtrodden uh, female characters in book. Even though Annette was not really that as poor and downtrodden. Yes, she had her ups and downs, but it was good to have a person like Rhoda in the book to even out that in the whole situation of the book. All right. Another the character was her family. Rhoda came from a very colorful family. She had a drunken uncle. I forget his name at the time. She had a grandmother called Granny Goose, who was a white woman who had a black baby, which was Rhoda's father. And the family turned against Rhoda's father, but Rhoda's father owned a funeral home, and he ended up having a lot of money. So then everybody was kissing his butt because they wanted money, and money speaks. I don't care if you're black or white. Green is the color. So Rhoda family was very, very colorful. Her uncle, who was drunk, was a drunkard. and her aunt, who was an ex-prostitute, and who was Granny Goose, and the other one, the twins. They were very colorful, but Rhoda was my favorite character by far. Dominique, who was your favorite character? Okay, and the restaurant owner. I forgot the name of that restaurant. I'm sorry that my brain is just fogging right now. But the Italian restaurant owner, who was the best friend of Rhoda's father, was a very colorful person too. Oh, I forgot a character. The judge that Rhoda's mother worked for. Uh, he and Rhoda's mother had a relationship. Oh, you like Rhoda too? Yeah, she was very, very with the shit. Put it that way. Rhoda was. She didn't take no crap from nobody. She was with the shit. But uh, Mr. I cannot remember the Italian guy's name, but he helped out Rhoda's family a lot. Um, Uncle Carmine, that's all I can remember now that she called him, but he had a very Italian name. So when Annette got older and she decided to leave where she lived and to go to a new city, uh, I was expecting a little bit more from her life, but uh, she got to see who other characters, other people like herself. Sometimes it's good to get out of the surroundings that you're in. And she got out of sin and she became more of a person into herself because she got to see her coworkers, one that looked like her but a little older. The coworker, uh, I can't remember her name either, but she was married and she demanded respect from her husband, which I thought was a good character. Also, there were very strong female characters in this book, and she was one of them. And all except for the one coworker who later was being abused, but other than that, it was pretty good. When she came back to the house, I think it's going to be a second part to this book because the way they left it at the end with Annette asking for her father's address was uh, kind of like a cliffhanger. It did not end. What made you want to vomit? Oh, Deanna, how are you doing, Deanna? What made you want to vomit, Deanna? That's a statement. Just come in with that statement. What made you want to do that, Deanna? I know what it is, but Mr. Boatwright was a very terrible person. Yeah, but when she came, I was kind of disappointed. I was hoping that she would end up in a better situation. But the thing is, she dated, which was something that she probably wouldn't have done if she stayed in her hometown, even though he was not good for her. But she learned from it and she decided to go back home. And when she went back home, uh, things were different. The people who had shunned her when she was growing up, like in school, now embraced her. And Pee Wee helped that along because Pee Wee had moved back home after he got in the military. And because he was a different person, he integrated back into his hometown very good. So when she got there, she also integrated. And her mother got a boyfriend, and I think they were going to get married. Her and her mom, yeah, they did get married because her mom got what she always said she wanted. She got an education and she got a restaurant. So, but she got a restaurant through marriage. I didn't get the audio. I got the audio book, but it was not the audio book, but I got a narrated version, and it was a woman who did all of the voices, and I'm sure she couldn't have did. She did a good job, but as far as uh, hey Opal, as far as a man doing the voice of Boatwright, it probably would have been more of a impact than it does that a woman trying to make her voice deep. Even though his character was despicable, uh, I got to see. I got, I felt how he was through her, but I think if it was a man's voice, it probably would have been even more of an impact. But Mr. Boatwright, ugh, I don't even want to talk about it. This a hateful person. Um, but Mr. The lawyer, I forgot his name, uh, probably would have married her mother if it was a different time. But he couldn't marry her mother because he was white. Judge Lawson, that's his name. Okay, it's kind of coming back. Judge Lawson probably would have married her mother because basically they were married anyway. He never had a wife. She stayed over there. They had intercourse, and he was basically her man at that time until he got too old. And once he got too old, her mother went and got her another man. Hey, Leonard, how's California? Are y'all getting really bad weather? Weather's always sunny in California. Yeah, but as far as the book, I hope there's a sequel. I'm going to find out which the next book is of that. What Mary Monroe has. I hope she has written a sequel to that book because I would like to read it if she has. But it was a good read. I enjoyed that book. Um, and that's why I keep trying to tell a lot of people because it's really hard to get some black people to read. It's even harder to get black men to read. So that's what I've been trying to do. I'm trying to get a lot of my friends and a lot of my coworkers to read books and talk. Let's not just sit around and talk about nothing, and that's basically what we do a lot. We sit around and we talk about nothing. So it's hot as hell in California. All right. Yeah. So I need for all of y'all to read the next book if you can. And you don't have to read the whole thing if you can't, but at least read some of it. Black History Month. This is Black Boy Joy, and it's by Kwame Embellia. So check it out and read it. You got probably to the first week in March, and then I will probably I know how to do this now. I know how to live stream, so and I will remember the book better because I read the book weeks ago because I read the book pretty fast, and so that's why I'm not remembering some of the names. But I haven't started reading this book yet. I had really started reading another book, but I thought it was a little too heavy for a book club. And it's hard enough to get people to read as is, and I didn't want to get a book that was too heavy for people to read. But I have uh, some other books. Next month, I might go read some smut. We might read some smut. Anything to pique some interest in some people to reading. So in March, we may read some smut. I wish Zane wrote books because I haven't seen a book from Zane in a long time. But we have an idea of a good book that's a good read and it's something good that we can talk about. And I will definitely put that up in March. And it's a series, so we can definitely do the book in the series. Okay, Deanna, I think it's coming up late, but I hold on. This is the book for next month. It's Black Boy Joy by Kwame Embellia. All right, we're gonna read that book. It's 17 short stories, so it should be an easy read, but hopefully it'll be a good read. Okay, so read that, and you can tell me in March, which was your favorite story, and we can discuss it. I am very happy that all of y'all have shown up because this is something that I've been trying to do for years. Try to get a book club, and this was before even YouTube was invented. I used to have a book club when I was a barber, and we used to pass around books and we discuss it. And I always enjoyed that, so I keep trying to do it, but it's hard to try to get the group that I had back then. I had a really learned group when I in my barber shop, and I used to even have books on the shelves that buy one take one, and you could take books. So that was a thing that I did, and this was back in the '90s. So now that I have YouTube, and YouTube, I can reach a bigger audience, and hopefully, I will reach a bigger audience, and we all can read and sip a little wine and enjoy, you know, each other's company. So next time, I'm definitely going to be doing it on a weekend, and I'm going to be doing it at a time when people can really sit down and enjoy each other's conversation. I did it because I didn't want this to run into next month, and I wanted to get out next month book so y'all can definitely start reading it. Okay, I got you, Deanna. All right. Yeah. So, and I'm open for suggestions too. If you read a book or you know of a book that of an author that I haven't read, or something that you've read and that you felt that was very interesting, and you want to discuss it, let's do it. You know, I'm a, like I say, I'm a voracious reader. I read the book in like 2 weeks. That's because of my job. But when I get down and I sit down, especially now that the book can talk to you, if I'm driving or if I'm in the kitchen doing something, if I'm in the bed laying down not doing anything, if I'm at work and I can get away, I will listen to a book because I can't sit and open up a book, my tablet or my phone and read it. So I will listen to the book. So if you know any good books, be sure to tell us. Oh, okay. Thank you, Opal. So that's going to be sometime in the near future. Opal has told me that the sequel to God Doesn't Like Ugly is God Still Doesn't Like Ugly. So I'm definitely going to start reading that book along with the books I'm already reading. I have like at least 15 books on my Kindle. I read like 3 books at a time. And on Google Books, I have at least 6 to 9. So I'm the kind of person that I will start reading the book and it will wait for me. And when I mean wait, it's not doing what I want to do, it's not exciting me. So I'll put it down and pick it up again later. But I'll start another book. Sometimes I'll be reading back and forth between 2 books. So uh, I'm looking for people that are like that. I'm gonna look that book up, Deanna. I never heard of that book. Journey of a IBN, Fat Bum. What is that? Fantamon book by an African name. We'll get that name. But thanks for the suggestion. In fact, I'm going to write it down while I got a chance because I'm going to forget it. Hold on 1 minute. Where's that pen? Thanks for that suggestion. I'm gonna look it up and I'm gonna read. They have give you snippets of it, and I'm going to try to look it up and read a short and see if it interests me. Uh, have you read this book already, Deanna? What? Tell me a little bit about it if you already read it. Naguib. I'm gonna have to get Google to tell me how to pronounce this name. Mafuso, Mafosa. Okay. Okay, you're like me. Deanna says that she reads about 5 books at a time. That's me. I will read a few books at a time because, like I say, especially if I feel that the main character is doing something that I don't agree with, and the book isn't going my way, I get an attitude and I put it down. But I'll pick it back up and finish the book. It may take months, but I will eventually pick it up and uh, read the book again and to finish it. I don't leave any book, unread for years. I put it that way. Maybe a month or two, maybe 3, if I'm really pissed off, because I really hate when people. I feel the characters are not doing things that I feel that is legit. Put it that way. It's like when you watch a scary movie and the person hears noise and they say, "Is that you, Johnny?" And they walk down the hall and you're like, "Dumb bitch." I just close the book and be like, "Nah, I can't do this." Okay. Yep. But like I say, it was good seeing all of you. We're gonna do this again next month. I'm not gonna hold you for long. This was a good 20 minutes, 25 minutes, little discussion. Um, we're gonna do it again. Hopefully, there will be some really good stories in here that we can all share and talk about, and hopefully, it'll get a little bit bigger. And I'm glad we don't need moderators. And maybe if I get enough followers, I can bring people in. I think that's the only way you can bring people in on this platform if you have a certain amount of followers and y'all can talk back and forth to each other. But I don't have that many. Only have like 300 and something followers at the time. But hopefully they'll show up. And that's the book. It's about a young man trying to find paradise in the perfect world. Okay, that's all of us. We're all trying to find paradise in an imperfect world. Um, but yeah, but we're gonna try this Black Boy Joy. I'm gonna start reading it probably tomorrow because I have to start. I was off today, so that's why I said let's do it today because I don't know what tomorrow's we're gonna bring. So I'm going to definitely start reading it tomorrow. You done read that same book 3 times? That must be a good book. I got to check that book out then. If you said that you read a book 3 times, that's got to be a good book. That's got to be one of those type of books that every time you read it, you see something different. It adds more and more onto it. Yeah. And this book you're gonna have to read because it doesn't have the narration. I don't think. I'll look and check and make sure. Um, like I say, when I didn't have time to actually sit down and open a book, or if I was in a situation that I had some downtime at work, I would just listen to the book because really we weren't supposed to be reading a book. So I would listen to it. They didn't care if you listen to it, but if you sat there and read it, it could be some trouble. But other than that, so I want to thank each and every one of you again. All right, we're going to do it again next month. I'm going to put it out as soon as possible. So I'm gonna start reading it as soon as I get close to the end of the book. I'm going to put out probably the first week. Let me look at the calendar now and give you an idea of a roundabout time uh, when it's going to be. Okay, and hopefully my days off don't change anytime soon. That would be great if that could happen. Okay, so we're gonna be looking at between sometime between the 4th and the 5th of March. All right. And it's going to be late. It's going to be like around 10:30 or 11. So that'll be a good sipping time. So definitely bring your bottle. I got the book. Let's do this. All right. I'm going to talk to each and every one of you later. All right. Talk to you later. Thanks for coming. All right.